have representatives from
Yes.
Europe. We have representatives from Asia and various time zones. And then we have host families in person. We've got Ria, and it is our great pleasure to conduct this meeting at Innovate Calgary, which is a innovation hub for the University of Calgary, a prominent university in Canada and Alberta. And the other thing is that this hub was just launched by the federal government a couple of months ago. And we're reading a sign that says, innovate outside the lines. And how beautiful and timely is that? It's been a really intense journey over the past few weeks. I'm going to talk about the 3 R's and then throw the mic to the students. They're going to throw the mic back to each other to talk to you about what has happened over the past few weeks. In the end, we'll give the mic to Margie to say a few words. And then if you have any questions, you can ask us in the end. Does that sound like a plan? All right, great. So the 3 R's, without Rotary, we wouldn't be sitting here, because a couple of months ago, I was working on this startup, and Ria and Margie, they took a risk because this was going to be a startup idea. And we said, who needs to be part of this team? And after careful consideration, they endorsed the idea that we should give the spots to the Rotary NGSE team. And that's Lou, May, and Shreyas. And fast forward, the second R I want to talk about is relationships. Relationships have drawn us together. If we didn't have the vision and the relationship when we had the Rotary connection and the original vision, we wouldn't be able to attract outstanding individuals from Taiwan and from Italy, from Team India, and also connecting the dots with Rotarians already in our district, which leads me to the third point, the return on social investment. So we talked about Rotary relationships, and we are sitting in the center in Canada where we can actually make some really good magic happen. We started off as a Team Calgary project, and as you'll see through the presentation of students, we've been told to make it a scalable project, a Team Canada project, because this concept does not exist. So without further ado, I'll hand over the mic to Lou and May, who will take us through the rest of the presentation.
All right. So the presentation will be about UPcomer Capital Ventures. That is the project that we have been working on. So what our focus was immigrants. In one word, was immigrants. Immigrants. Canada is a country that needs immigrants to survive. That's what I've heard since I've been here. And I can see why. I've been here for just 3 weeks, but I really got to see why and how valued immigrants are. However, immigrants, when coming to this country, just like any other country, they face a number of challenges and difficulties that make it harder for them to start their businesses, to gain confidence about it, and just a lot of other things that can go as far as driver's license are concerned. We were talking about it earlier with Ria. And among other challenges, of course, the most relevant one is language barriers, because of course not everybody speaks English, and some people take longer to learn it than others. Some of them might also face financial struggles. During our research, we found interesting data regarding applications made by immigrants to loans. We found that loans, immigrants aren't as likely as their Canadian counterparts to ask for loans to banks, even though when they do ask for loans, they're just as likely as their counterparts, their Canadian-born counterparts, to be accepted. But for some reasons, they do not ask for them. It could be because they don't trust the banks. It could be because they haven't built enough credit history yet. It might be a number of reasons, but that's what we found. And of course, they have difficulty finding networks because, well, they come to a new country, they've left their family and their friends behind, and they have unfamiliarity with the market because they might have pre-researched it, but they're not in it. So they don't know exactly how it works and what people want and what the need of the population might be. So that's sort of where we started from. And I'll let May explain what UPcomers is.
So we can see those challenges the immigrants were facing, and that's the main problem that we want to solve, and that's why we created UPcomers. We want to give them the service that they can cross those kind of challenges. For the UPcomer capital venture, our vision would be to unleash the potential of newcomer entrepreneurs to be net job creator for Canada. And our mission would be to ensure we connect the right entrepreneur to be the right business financing, buying, and selling opportunities. And that this is a little bit too broad. It's hard to focus on what kind of things we are doing right now. So me and Lou, we do a persona and the journey map that we can more focus on what kind of target audience we want to be our main client, and what kind of things that they might facing when they come to Canada. So let's let Lou explain about her persona.
All right. So during our research, of course, we came across the need to find a market segment to focus on. And we came up with two different personas. We found that there are two types of entrepreneurs. The first type is opportunity entrepreneurs, which are entrepreneurs who would come to Canada with a specific and precise goal. They know what they want and they have experience in the capital venture industry and the entrepreneurship field. They know what they want, and of course that would be the preferred because they have a higher quality pitch. Their ideas are very market ready, and they of course have a clear business plan because it's not the first time that they do this. And they are very high network individuals, so they have an established network. On the other hand, though, they of course have less urgency for financing. And there's a higher competition because different capital ventures company might approach them because their idea is so good. And they also might have a little bit of overconfidence because they're used to being successful. So that might be the downside to it. The persona that we imagined for this specific type of entrepreneur is Oliver Müller. He is a German guy who graduated from the most prestigious business school in Germany, in Frankfurt. And I won't get into details, but that's basically the first persona that we encountered. Moving on to the second persona, the second type of entrepreneur, we have necessity entrepreneurs, which are those people who are forced to become self-employed because for many reasons, they can't find a job, nobody will hire them, they don't speak the language, so they need to create a job for themselves, and that's how they become self-employed. And for these entrepreneurs, we also have pros and cons. The pros might be that they have strong motivation and an urgency to succeed, of course, because they don't benefit from the same financial stability that pull opportunity entrepreneurs might have. They are extremely flexible and resourceful because if you need something, you can't afford to lose it, so you're willing to compromise. And they might have unique market insights and know niches of the market that other people might not know. However, of course, because they don't know the market, and how this industry works, their products or services might have uncertain market viability, and there's the whole lack of experience problem too. And their ideas and business plans might need more structuring. And for this persona, we chose a minority, a young girl from India, and because she needs to sort of come here. She's always had very low paying jobs, and she decided to look for something better. And now we'll move on to the client journey mapping.
So when we find out the target audience, we imagine what kind of things they may facing and what kind of action they might do during they want to create their own own companies. So I separated to 5 phase. For example, before they arrive and fail to get a loan from bank, gain some capital for their business, and finally they produce their products. For those 5 phases, they might do some action and they might fail something. They might need to make some connect with someone, and those happy and sadness, it's what we want to bring our servers to, helping those clients to helping them to create their company more smoothly. So for example, when before they arrive to Canada, they might need to search the market in Canada. So during that time, they might need to do some network. So at that time, they might a little bit nervous, they might be a little bit confused, but also they are excited to have their new life. So what UPcomer can do for those clients, we might want to give them some membership subscribe. So we can give them a little bit industry resources that helping them to decide what kind of pace they want to go through. And also we can sell the package consult to helping those immigrants to do their network, or helping them to connect with someone in the future. And when they arrive, they might need to change their idea because they find out the market is that fit to them or not. And also they might need to build more networks to helping them to have a better understand this country and this market. And also they might need to meet the lawyers, accountants, or banks to to helping them to create their companies. At that time, they might feel unstable and worries. So we want to give them a chance to evaluate their pitch, and also we can give them some mentoring service. And because Lou mentioned before, the immigrants, it's hard to get their loans from bank in Canada. So they might fail to get their loan from bank, so they need some funding from us. So at that time, they might feel helpless and sad and frustrated. And that's why UPcomer is we need to create UPcomer to helping them, to give them the advice and to helping them to find the angel funders. And also we can give them some helping for their interview to help them to hire correct employees. And finally, they got the funding from us or from other organizations. They need someone to helping them to manage their money and keep finding more funding from other places. And also they may need to build their own networks. So so UPcomer want to give them some financial service, and we want to give them monthly week meetings so that they can meet know more people from different industry. And also they might have a little ranking from all the firms, so they can get more confidence and get more sponsorship. At the end, they have their monies and they have their own team. They can produce their own products. After the progress, they might need some launch pitch or advertisements helping, and marketing helping, and also financial management. And at that time, they may feel a little bit excited, delighted, and they are proud of themselves because they already crossed the first step of the entrepreneur. So we want to keep following up their progress, and also we want to give them all the networks they might need, and keep helping them to have a place to show their launch. So to helping those clients to fit in Canada, this country, it's not only our job, but also we have our partnership giving us so many support and efforts. For example, the government of Canada is the main resources we can find how immigrants to fit in this country and the policies. And also the second one is Innovate Calgary. They helping us, they lend the places for us to have this presentation today, and also they guarantee they can give some funding and give and lend the places for us to give a pitch. And also Rotary is helping us so much, like all of people over here and sending me and Lou coming to Canada to make this organization more structured. And also Thai is one of very important partnership for us. They helping us about immigrants education and settlement. And also they will hold in entrepreneurship courses for those immigrants so that they can get the knowledge about business and marketing. The last but not least is the Platform Calgary. They provide a co-worker places that me and Lou can work for those 3 weeks. And also we hope that these places can give our clients to work over there.
So this is an introduction to our team. Of course, we have Haider, the CEO, who will speak in a minute. Then we have May, who you've met just now, Shreyas, who is following us from India, and Lou, me. We're all from different countries. We're here through the NGSE program, which is why we owe so much to Rotary. And of course, we also wanted to thank our special advisor, Fatima, who just arrived here. Thank you. And Alexander, who is not here, and I don't think he's following from home, but anyway, they have been crucial to our work. They have helped so much with their expertise, their experience, and their wisdom. So that was just to thank them. And that is all. Thank you so much for sitting through this presentation. I hope it wasn't too long. If you
So thank you for that to the students, and you should be really proud. There's 3 big achievements that have happened that couldn't have happened if you weren't here. Number 1, your commitment to go to Platform Calgary, because Platform Calgary, and they have identified that newcomers didn't feel that that place was a sense of belonging for them. So by you going there, you're kind of exploring that and that relationship, which led to us doing a big design thinking session with students from Australia, New Zealand, and entrepreneurship students from the Southern Alberta Institute of Technology. That design thinking session and the ideation gave us more of a polished approach, which led to the research. And finally, we were able to attract special advisors like Fatime here. Thank you so much to Fatime. She's a fresh graduate from the Haskayne School of Business MBA program, and also in finance. And Maya, I believe, is on her way.
She's from
She's
the meeting.
okay. And I would like to thank Maya as well, because she's showing some interest, early interest. She's actually an analyst for a publicly traded bank, CIBC, Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, and she would like to join our movement as well. So without further ado, what I would like to do is pass on the baton to Margie to say a few words, and then I would like Rhea to chime in there and also because you've been there for us from day one and from the envisioning stage through the ups and downs and to the conclusion of this. So if you wouldn't mind saying a few words, but first let's go to Margie.
Thanks, Haida, and hello, everybody. And may I ask, Haida, that I'm last on the agenda, kind of doing a bit of a summary and a wrap up. So if I might suggest, could we go to questions and comments now while the presentation is fresh? And then, yeah, Christine's already got her hand up. And then before we get to Ria and myself, I wonder if we could do a quick round of introductions, because it's so important, I think, that we know what role each one in person and on the screen has played in this exchange. So if you're okay with that, Haida, let's move to questions and comments.
The first one will be the Q&A, so go ahead. The first question is from the audience, from Zoom. Go ahead.
Okay, great presentation. It really gave me the eyes on and the knowledge that I needed to understand what was up with you guys. It's incredible. And I'd like to ask Lou and May, what after going through this process and learning so much, what value is this going to be to you when you return home?
I'll let May go first. No, I'm good. Yeah, should I?
So for me,
Yes.
the most things I learned from Hyder and from UPcomer is how to utilize different resources. Like I mentioned about the partnership we built before. So before we came here, we have no idea with Platform Calgary, Innovation Calgary, and TIES, but because we are working together, so we have a connection with those people, and we can try to learn different strengths from those organization and use their and utilize their powers to build UPcomer. So that's what I learned from this program.
For me, it was about the same, because we worked on it together, and that really taught me, well, first of all, a lot about the market, because to be honest, I didn't know pretty much anything, and doing the research helped me gain new perspective on, well, on newcomers, on the whole industry, and what we can do to help them so that they can help us in the future. For me, it's all about sort of interchangeable help. And it was very, very interesting to see how this whole system began to exist, because it's a thing. It's a thing now. So it was really, it's something that made me really proud to be here and work on it.
Thank you. I missed Shreya. Is he on the call?
Yep.
I think so. It might not be, because it's
There he is.
4 a.m.
No,
Yes.
he's with us.
Hey, go ahead.
There he is. Shreya, can you also answer the question that I gave to Lou and me? You're already home, so not when you go home, but what have you gained that you can use going forward?
So in my case, just a second. Yeah, so I definitely gained a lot of experience working with UPcomer. The design thinking was really something new to me. The process, how we approached the problem, and how we took everyone's opinions and collaborated for a solution. So that was something different for me. And other than that, I got to work on the brand strategy of UPcomer. So that's definitely something new.
All right. Thank you for that. And Christine, any follow-up comments from the students?
I love it. I love what's happening here. I can see some growth stemming from this, Hyder, and really, this is so innovative. It's so innovative to take this on and bring these new people into the fold of Rotary and what all can be done for leadership and young leaders. So thank you very much.
It's been an honor. Thank you so much, Christine, for a great question. Next up, we've got Jeff here. Go ahead, Jeff.
So part of this NGSE is a cultural exchange, and for each of the participants, I'd like to know what they learned about, one thing you've learned about Canada that you didn't know before.
Oh, this is gonna sound very silly, but to me, it was the pristine nature, the wildlife, how open everybody is, and people do not care what your background is. They just see you as who you are right there in front of them, which is something that I am not used to, because usually when I meet people, all that comes before me in my past is usually also sort of transmitted. But here it wasn't like this. And that was really, really interesting and refreshing in a way.
So for me, I think the most impressed is how international is over here. You can see different kind of people from all the around the world, and they have their own culture. They bring it to Canada. They are not only English and Canada native culture in this country. And during those 3 weeks, we met a lot of different people from around the world, and we built a wonderful relationship. And that was the amazing things I have experienced for this whole program. And do you mind, like, I want to share the story we happened yesterday. On the car.
Oh God, which one?
So, yesterday, when me and Hyder was coming back home, there was a little children yelling at us when we were driving. He yelled, "Hey, Chinese!" And we heard it, but I think for me it's nothing because I don't care about that. But Hyder just like he turned around the car and go down the car and yell to those children.
Wow.
Yeah.
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 You should probably expand on that. I didn't yell at that.
Give them a lesson. Yeah, get them
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
So it's really
sounds like
Here-
exciting, actually.
Here's the story. Of course, we're Rotarians. Here I am hosting my daughter, right?
Yes.
It's my daughter in our home. So somebody said that to my daughter, and these kids were, they were young, and in fact, so I reversed the car. I parked it in the middle. So Christina knows this, my wife. I'm generally a very easygoing, visionary type of guy. I would say I'm even keeled. I get passionate.
Yeah.
But until it comes to those values clashes, then the lion comes out. And so my voice becomes really like loud. So I just said to the kids, I said, "Hey, who said that?" And so I got out of the car, and the guy, I think, swore. He's like, "Oh, shoot."
Yeah.
And he dropped off his bike. He fell off his bike just because. And I said, "Come here, young man. Where are you from?" And he said, "I'm from Syria." I said, "What if I called you Syrian, whatever I said?" And he kept on apologizing. "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." I said, "You know who that is?" And he said, "I don't know." Says my daughter. And he just like, and then all the friends came. So we had a transformational moment. Oh, it's okay.
That's so touching.
No, it's that's what Rotary is all. Okay, I gotta give May a hug, because he's getting me emotional. Remember I was talking about the 3 R's?
Yeah.
Relationship. This is what relationship is all about. I got you.
Yeah.
But you know what, like, it's without saying a lot of things, what's ironic about that story, and thanks for bringing that up, and the risk that you took to bring it up, is that this is why Rotary exists. That's why we're doing UPcomer. Okay. because a Syrian kid is saying those things to a fellow immigrant, right? So then how will we change the rest of the society? That's why this project is called UPcomers, because upcomers are net job creators. Thanks to our efforts here, they will give Canadians jobs, because the number one narrative you hear from folks is that these immigrants are going to take my jobs away. So what we're saying is the first ever kind of its concept, thanks to the team here, we're going to be net job creators. So yeah, so I think they apologize profusely, and the students, and but how many times have you been bystanders and you walk away from that situation? Rotary did not teach me that. Rotary taught me you confront the situation, people of action, right, Ria? And so, and I also have the confidence because of all of you, frankly, right? Because if I didn't have the confidence, I didn't have my values aligned, you can really produce those transformational moments. So yeah. So, and I was saying, remember I told you, like, I get too attached really quickly. You're making it harder for me to drop you out of the airport tomorrow. But thank you for that thought-provoking question. We have Shreyas as well, right? Sorry, have you said your piece? Did you have anything else?
No, that's all.
Okay. Go ahead, Shreyas. Maybe you can answer the question from Jeff.
Yeah. So I definitely got to know a lot about Canada. I was attending, I actually had did the exchange virtually because of the visa situation, but I definitely got to know a lot about Canada, its culture. Margie and Haider used to involve me in calls in the Rotary dinners. Like it was a lunch, I guess, not the dinner. I don't know the time
You didn't
difference
eat
and
much in those dinners.
yeah, we were just talking. So it was definitely a lot. And these guys helped me a lot. Like there was a complication with my visa actually. So then my exchange was done virtually, but I never felt like left alone. And I was definitely involved a lot in this exchange. So yeah.
Thank you for the great question, and it sparked a story that, well, I didn't think was going to come up. So thank you for that one. Rick, your hand is up. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, this question could be to either student or all three. Knowing what you know about the vision and mission of UPcomers, know and understand, of course. Do you feel that this concept has a place in your countries?
Oh,
And are you prepared to take?
good one.
I have actually thought about it already. I think it would be something very, very new in Italy, and extremely innovative. And I was just thinking about it, and I think there might be there might be at least one company who could help us and who we could partner with. But would Italy be ready? Possibly. I think we're not quite there yet. Because well, Europe in general, we were talking with Ria. Canada is, I don't know how many times Italy, yet it has, I don't know how many times its population. There are 60 million of us in Italy, and I think 40 million, almost 36 in Canada, and it's extremely huge. So it's but there's always a need for fresh minds and creative people. So I think it would be, because I don't know of anybody who does that in Italy. I might have to do some research, but I've never heard of anything like that. So I think it would be a nice little project, that's for sure.
All right, thank you for that. And May, the question was
Yeah.
from Rick Eisted, and he was asking, when you go back to your home country, do you think a concept like this could exist there? Or what are your thoughts about that? And then a follow-up question was that, what are you gonna do about it?
Oh, same as Lou. I didn't have too much information about that back in Taiwan. So, but I think in Taiwan we have a lot of sources for those immigrants. But I need to like go look it up and do more research to make sure that they can how they work back in Taiwan. Yeah.
Great, thank you. And Shreyas?
Yeah, so I'm from India, and so definitely I think there is a lot of scope for such an organization in India, because even I haven't heard, I have heard of Capital Ventures, but I haven't heard of such an organization that just caters to immigrants and helps them out, like specifically immigrants. So it's definitely something that can work out in India, definitely.
All right, thank you again.
I
Rick,
just wanted to comment that for upcomers in this particular situation, you selected new immigrants or immigrants to initially to Calgary, and I know Hyder's comment about going national, and all I'm thinking is it doesn't necessarily have to be with immigrants in your countries. It could be just any helping entrepreneurs become successful and as and net worker creation, being providing jobs for others, helping others in life. And I think you just got to take this concept, and if you believe in it, I would challenge you to champion it. Every great idea needs a dreamer, and it needs a champion to drive the bus. So that would be my advice to you.
Yep.
That's great. Any other questions from the boardroom here? Any comments?
I'd make a comment.
Thank you.
Ron Stickley speaking. I think one of the things that would be interesting would be to see you focus on Alberta first, as far as here goes, because we already have Alberta Innovation boards, we have provincial funding, we have some stuff to move forward, and we need jobs created quickly. So I would suggest that we look at an immigrant status for an entrepreneur who wants to come to a environment. He wants to come into our environment because we stimulate ideas that create jobs and create businesses. And until we do that, the difficulty I'm having dealing with Ukrainian situation right now is the fact that they have to have a visa before they can even open a bank account.
Correct.
So how do we get an entrepreneur a visa status to be an entrepreneur? He's got to say, I've got a skill, or I've got this, or I've got something else that we get him a visa for. So all I'm trying to say is that whatever country you bring them from,
Right.
if you had an entrepreneurial status, and we have it on the West Coast, it's Asian wants to buy real estate, he has to invest X amount of money in a Canadian business to be allowed to buy a house in Vancouver. And to me, that's the wrong approach. He should have to invest his money and some of his business knowledge into the market to create jobs for people.
Correct.
And anyway, that's my
Very good.
my very first thought
Very
on
good.
it is
Yeah.
the difficulty of attracting entrepreneurs is maybe as simple as having a specialized visa or a specialized status for him
Right.
that he qualifies under. And it could be for a shorter period of time for him to actually create that and show some revenue. And that's my thought.
That is a brilliant thought. I'm going to pass it over to students because you'll be, I guess, grateful to know that they've actually worked on that persona. So I don't want to steal the thunder. Did you want to make a quick comment on that?
Well, apart from the persona and all that, I know, well, we know that there is a thing called a startup visa, which platform Calgary, where we work, should be able to give, except they said that they don't have the capacity to process that, but they should. But that's already one step forward. That's, you know,
Good.
that's
Very
at
good.
least, yeah.
So the idea is that as we build these relationships, and we don't want to, of course, take over from any other entity, but if we are providing value and we have capacity as Rotarians, and NGSE is there too, who's to say that we can't add value to that startup visa program? And by the way, if the contract for those expire in December this year, that means new vendors can bid on that. So if you want, we can pursue that in collaboration with platform and other folks, because we do bring the ecosystem together.
That's great.
And no one has actually talked about that. And no, you won't see that in the media, what you just talked about, because there's 3,400 of those granted every year. But the practices you mentioned from BC, they end up creating some unintended consequences.
Yes.
What if it was done properly, like the way that students have designed it? You could have some really good case studies proving the opposite. All right, we'll take one more question, then we'll hand it over to Margie for. Yes. Did you have a question? Yes, go ahead, Margie.
I've got a question, if I may, but sort of piggybacking on the questions around the vocational side of things, the cultural side of things. Let's put Rotary on the table and ask the participants what you've picked up and gained, learned, what you're taking with you about Rotary.
About me? For me, the question?
For both, for all three of you, for all three of you.
All
Yeah,
three.
for
So
sure.
I mentioned this before. So over here, I follow Rotary Acts, and they gave us so many wonderful experiences. They bring us to the bowling, to the bands, and I really like this connection with those teenagers. But back in Taiwan, we don't have NGSE teenager to helping them do those traveling and cultural exploring. So for me, I want to bring this not like concept or experience back to Taiwan and propose to Carrie and tell her maybe we can create a group to helping those NGSE students to have more cultural experience back in Taiwan when they come to Taiwan. Yeah.
For me, you know, the most important part, which is also the part that I'm most grateful for, was that the pride that everybody I have met here has for the things that they do, the organization that they're part of, and the country that they live in. And everybody was so keen and so happy to show me, you know, show me the way that they see the world, you know, and I felt so honored and so grateful for that. It was really something very important, and that I will cherish and remember forever. You know, I've made great memories, and it was just lovely.
Shreyas, I don't know if you're able to respond to that question because your exposure was quite limited being virtual.
But definitely I could see the enthusiasm of Rotarians in Canada, especially Margie, Haider, and whoever I was connected to, Ria and Maya. So definitely they helped me a lot through the virtual exchange. I'm looking forward, once I get my visa, I'll definitely get back to you on the physical part.
Excellent. Haider,
Yes.
do you think before I say what I want to say, do you think we could please, I don't know if it's just a need of mine or if it's shared, but I would love everybody just to say who they are and what their connection is. Because I'm not sure it's entirely obvious to everyone who.
Yes, yeah, that's right. We have a lot of families here. We have a lot of,
Yes, yes.
we do that. And then as we're doing that, my wife just texted me that Sophia is here. Like, that's my 7-month-old daughter, by the way. And I've been told that I need to go to the car now and go and go home. So what I'll do is I will join into the Zoom meeting through Zoom here. And I'll do my introduction first so that then I have some time to sign in. So my name is Haider Hassan. I've been a Rotarian for over 12-13 years now, it seems. I just like Lou and May, I was part of I'm a product of Rotary leadership programs. I created the Rotary Club in Brampton, in Ontario when I was there. I went to the Rotary Youth Leadership Awards. I also had the pleasure of being sponsored to go to the Rotary Youth Leadership Awards of North America. So we had that in Washington, DC. We had the pleasure of learning and working with Rotaractors from all around the world. So that really shaped my experience, and the Rotary made me who I am. I say that because 2 of my previous jobs, Rick Eistad is here from our club. He knows this. Even actually this idea that we're chatting about, he was the first person to know about what the steps I was going to take. So I left the previous jobs. So that's a little bit about me. And I intend to capitalize this organization. And I'm committed to only hiring on an annual basis. Of course, the committee has to decide. Rotary and NGSE students, this will become an annual thing. And our vision, when Margie says her piece, when we get to her, we set a vision when if this was just an idea that in the Rotary International Convention that happened in Calgary in 2 years, almost a year and a half now, UPcomer is going to be so big that the students here today, they're going to be really proud of the fact that it may become a flagship idea from Rotary. So that's a little bit about me. Spent 15 years in finance, 4 years as CEO of a nonprofit, and I'll pass it over to you.
Okay,
We're having problems with her.
no
battery.
signal.
It's still on,
It's
but
still on,
because
okay.
my laptop's dying, so I need to charge.
Me
with-
So you can see the faces from here.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.
And tell me. So I need to go home by myself, right?
Yes, so you get a ride from her, and then you come home, and Ma has got your dinner prepared and everything.
Okay,
I'll be your driver.
Yeah.
I'll be your
Okay,
driver.
okay.
I'll get you home.
And
Okay.
Chrissy and I have to go to another
Okay,
event.
get you home.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see you later.
Yeah.
Oh,
For tea
okay.
time.
Okay,
Thanks, Haider.
yeah, thanks, Ryder. Yeah.
Bye-bye, Haider. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Ron Stickley. I'm a Rotarian. I have been for 13 years. It was kind of payback for my son going to Japan 13 years ago, 14 years ago. He still reads, speaks, and can write Japanese. He uses it on the internet and other ways. He's been back twice. I was heavily involved with youth exchange in my club, both in and outbound students. Julia, my wife's across the table, and we've hosted 4 students over that time in our house. Lou was dropped on us at the last minute, but we broke all the rules and did it anyway. So it's very much fun to meet these people and see what they're doing. And Lou kept the secret very well, because yesterday I dragged her out to Jerry Darachuk's injection molding factory, because he has one of the most innovative product development
Yes.
tools, which is a 16 head 3D printer. And he does the majority of the prototyping of all the innovative production ideas in Alberta. And he previously sat on the board of Innovations Alberta Innovations before Haider was there. So that pretty well sums it up. personally background, I was the vice president of sales for Sun Ice in this town, but I also have done, I think I counted them up, about 16 personal ventures, of which only 2 were successful. But the 2 paid for the other 14 mistakes. So I understand the venture capital business. I actually worked in a venture capital business called Red Tail for a period of time. And I found this very interesting.
Hey, everyone. This is Fatima. As Haider mentioned, I actually just graduated from MBA, trying to getting connected with Haider, and then I had a chance to get connected with these 2 beautiful ladies. Unfortunately, I've never had a chance to get to know Rotary. I actually learned about Rotary through these girls. And I actually feel regret that I didn't know about Rotary when I came to Canada like 12 years ago. Because I'm pretty sure that it could be a very big help for me at that time. But I'm glad that Lou and May and Shras, they are involved in these like great program here in Calgary. And regarding the UPcomer, I got connected with Haider like, I don't know, 10 years ago. And then we've been in touch here and there. And then when I got in touch with him like 2 months ago, he talked about the UPcomer program with me. And then we start just like work together on that. That's about me. And regarding personal side, I'm working at CIBC and I'm on maternity leave right now. That's it.
Thank you, Fatima.
Thank you. My name's Julia and Ron is my husband. We're hosting Lou since, is it Monday?
Yeah, just this week.
Yes, Monday, so just a few days really, but it's been very nice, very interesting. And I don't have a business background at all, but.
She's a
this was
nurse.
Phenomenal.
She has a nursing background.
And Lou taught me how to make chair food.
Hi, I'm Maria Graham. I've been a Rotarian since 1993. Was only active for 3 or 4 years, but came back in 2016. And I rejoined my same club, Calgary Chinook at the time. And in that time, I was very engaged in establishing a STEM education program in a public school that we had and a couple of interact clubs. But my whole focus became youth. And then during COVID, what happened is a lot of our programs were in schools. So then I went to 5360 and I connected with NGSE. And that is my wheelhouse now. I'm here till the end of it. And as I say, it's just been such an experience to see how that program will enhance Rotary, but also be the next step for the next generation of Rotarians.
Thanks, Ria. And is that everybody in person? Do we move on to the screen now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, I wonder, Anita, are you with us?
Yes, I'm very much with you.
Oh, very good.
It's 4 in the morning.
And the time now in India is what? What time is it now?
5:15.
5:15 in the morning.
Yeah.
Thank you
So
so
just excuse my ghostly
being with us.
appearance.
So, Anita, tell us what your connection is with this program, please.
Yeah. So actually, about 2 years ago, when just after the pandemic, that's 21, 22, I became a part of NGSE, which was run virtually. So I've been a Rotarian since 2011. And I was a president in 2017, 18, after which I started working for the district. And I was always passionate about the youth. So I got into this NGSE, and as a part of the virtual NGSE, I was very keen. I attended almost all the trainings that we were giving and that our students were receiving. So my name got recommended when it came to the physical at NGSE this year. So I became the chair, and I was very happy that I took it up. I was a little reluctant though in the beginning because of certain personal problems. But then I said that the person who is district governor this year, she's a very good friend of mine. She urged me. She said, no, you have to take it up. And I'm very happy that I did. And I'm also very happy that I attended the international meet of NGSE where I met Maggie. And I'm so happy for that. And yes, it was not, it is unfortunate that Shreyas could not get his visa. But anyway, we are happy that we connected with you. And I'm so happy to see all that fantastic work that you people have done. And it's making me very happy to be connected. That's all I can say right now. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Anita. You've added so much value to every time you've been connected with us. So thank you for that. Shreyas, she's a wonderful NGSE chair, is she not?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. She's joining in right now. That itself.
Yeah.
Good, thank you. Okay, who'd like to go next?
I can go if you like, because I don't have a problem talking anytime. So my name is Christine Rendell. My husband, Brian Carnahan, is the District Youth Service Chair, and I'm a past District Youth Service Chair as well, and I was District Governor 2019-2020. One of my biggest passions, as well as my husband's, are empowering youth and helping to develop young leaders. And I don't see any other organization that has such an impact as Rotary. And this program, NGSE, to help develop young leaders, I think is one of the key elements that Rotary has for that. So very proud to be a part of this. We were happy to take Lou out to a small town Rotary together, rodeo. I keep saying a small town Rotary instead of rodeo. And got her out to see that. And it was a lot of fun. She was a lot of fun and a very sharp, intelligent young lady. So it was a pleasure to have that experience with her. And we also did get to meet May. And it's nice meeting you finally, Shreyas, on virtually. So thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, Christine. I wonder if we could jump to Italy now. Andrea and Federica, I wonder if you'd like to say a word about yourselves.
Hello to everybody. Okay, first of all, we want to thank you, all of you, about the way you take care about our daughters. Second, I want to say that I know very well Canada and Canada people because I was used to work in Canada. And let me say that Canadian people is one of the most beautiful people on earth because they are very, very nice. I always found very nice people during my job in Canada. Especially I was working in Ontario and in Vancouver because I was, at that time, I was involved in the injection molding machine industry. So I know very well that kind of plastic industry. And because I'm graduating in mechanical engineer, and I'm very happy that Ludovica had the opportunity to visit your beautiful country. And I really hope I can come to your country again, maybe in Calgary. And I have very good remember in Calgary, because I don't know if you remember Alberto Tomba, he won 2 gold medals in Calgary. So
Yes, he
it
did,
was
in 88.
yes. So thank you to everybody for what you have done, for the beautiful experience in terms of job and in terms also of sizing of your beautiful country.
And could we thank you for supporting your daughter's choice to apply to come? We know that you've been behind her all the way, and it has meant so much to her. And we have big respect for the support that you give her as much loved parents.
Thank you very much, Maggie. Another thing, we will be very happy if you ever in the future you would like to visit Italy. We will be very happy to have you as our guest in our small city, Padova, that is very, very close to Venice. So it will be a big pleasure for us to have you as guest.
Thank you so much.
What are you doing next week?
It will be okay. I can take care about you.
Canadians don't need too many invitations. Okay, good. Who would like to go next? We've got 3 more. May we go to Okotoks, Jeff?
For sure.
Thank you.
And mine is real quick. So I had the pleasure of hosting Lou and May and Ria as we explored Alberta and Canada's wild west. And we got to go to the Bayou Ranch and see horses and cowboys and wagons and Indian teepees and the whole bit. So we got to do the cultural experience. None of this boring business stuff. We got to see the real Wild West, and they were such a pleasure to have along. It was fun exploring it through their eyes and seeing what the Canadian West looks like through fresh eyes. So thank you, ladies. It was a pleasure.
It was our pleasure.
Jeff is chairing, I think, still our membership committee, our district membership committee, this Rotary year.
Yes.
And having heard what you've heard, you can understand how he's a perfect person for that position. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Okay, so who's next? David and Johanna or Rick?
We can go, I guess.
Thank you.
Just our involvement in the program was fairly simple. I just coordinated with some of our members to do some hosting, and I was very happy to do that, and absolutely delighted to have Lou stay with us. I would say to the Momo, to Lou's parents, you have a lovely young daughter. She was really a pleasure to have around. The only problem we had was that we found it very tiring watching how fast she was moving, doing all the things she was doing. She just about wore us right out. So it was impressive. So, in any case, if you find yourselves in Calgary, Lou knows we do have a little bit of room here in the house, and you're welcome if you find your way to Calgary too. So it was great. Really enjoyed having Lou here. And honest, she didn't break my tractor and nor any of the other bits of stuff I have around here. Nothing. It was wonderful. Super.
She'll have to add those skills to her CV.
David, why you didn't buy a John Deere tractor?
Everybody has John Deere. Why did you buy John Deere? Everybody else has John Deere. I rather like the Japanese quality.
You picked the wrong brand name.
Good question. And Johanna, from your side?
Oh, Lou is a pleasure to have around, and I think it's a reflection of her parents, that what a fine person she is. And I'm sure she'll do great things in her life. As Dave said, all we did was watch her and she made us tired. So she's a very sweet girl and she's going places, I think.
Oh, by the way, happy birthday. It's Joanna's birthday today.
Oh, many happy returns.
Yeah.
And thanks for joining us on your birthday. Wow. Yeah, most grateful to the two of you for sorting the host families around Calgary North. It wasn't an easy process for us, and you made it a breeze. Thank you so much for taking that on, Dave.
No problem.
Yeah. Rick, may we move to you?
Yeah, sure. What do I want to share with you? So my name is Rick Eisted. I'm a proud member of the Rotary Club of Calgary Fish Creek. Been a Rotarian since April 30th of 2007. You know, Rotary has 5 avenues of service, and without question, my number one priority is youth service. I learned this evening at the beginning of this little session that I'm either the godfather or the patron of the new generation service exchange in our district. Because I remember back about 1 to 2 years before I became district governor, I approached Christina Hassan, Hyder's wife, if she would take on the lead, and she ran that program for 2 years. We mostly did inbound, but I think we did a couple of inbounds during that time frame. And then during my district governor year, I approached Margie to see if she'd be interested in getting involved, and well, the rest is history. So I think it's a fantastic program. Also in my Rotary life, I was the district youth exchange chair, and I'm currently the youth service director and youth exchange officer. And on the 19th of this month, we're going to be receiving a young gal from Hamburg, Germany. And she'll be with us for basically the 11 months. To our 3 great participants this year in the UPcomer program, you were asked by Margie about what did you learn about Rotary? And obviously, being busy as you were, it's a big challenge to learn a lot about Rotary. I mean, you just have to ask a Rotarian and they'll give you the full meal deal. My advice to you is when you go back home, find a Rotarian and connect with them. You will not regret it. We're all one big family, 1.4 million of us across the world, trying to make the world a better place. So that would be my best advice to you when you get back. Reach out, contact a Rotarian, and if you need help, we're here to help you with that too. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Rick, for that. Moving on to Maya. Maya, are you with us? And would you, Maya, hello. If someone could read this out, that would be amazing. I'm Maya. Okay, we're going to read the chat, everybody. Maya has put something in the chat. Who'd like to read Maya's story? Is there somebody who'd like to do that? Or shall I do it quickly?
Go for it.
Do it. Okay, she says, hello, if someone could read this out, that would be amazing. I'm Maya, quite famous for running around during meetings. I'm on the train now, so typing this out. And I'm a former youth exchange student from Okotoks. I've also done RILA, worked with Rotex International, and been to quite a few Rotary conferences for speaking and listening. Most recently, the RI convention in Melbourne. And I'm still a member of the Youth Exchange Committee here too, that's in our district. I just started my term as the first Canadian on the Rotary International Youth Advisory Council. That's the RI Council, working with the International Board on youth programs. It's been incredible getting to know the students. That's Lou and May and Shreyas, and I hope to see them again someday. Maya, thank you for that. Yes, you are known to connect with meetings, whether you're in Spain, whether it's the middle of the morning or middle of the night, or if you're at work or on the train. Thank you. We can always count on your support. Maya, I know, also took May and Lou to Banff. Maybe there's not too much time to talk about that, but Maya, thank you so much for your involvement in the program. Okay, good. That leaves who? I think it leaves me, does it not?
Yes.
Okay.
Your turn.
Very quickly, I'm just wanting to see how to get rid of the chat on. I'll do it like that. Close. Yeah, there we are. Got rid of the chat. Okay, so my quick story is I was born and grew up and educated on the tip of Africa. I don't know how many of you know that. A country called South Africa, specifically Cape Town, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Very grateful for all our experiences there. It's a beautiful, wonderful, diverse country, but also troubled in many ways. And our son and his wife, who are both medical doctors, emigrated to Canada in the late 1990s. And from the time that they settled happily in Canada, they started asking us to consider a new chapter in our lives, in a new country, different hemisphere, different challenges. And at first we thought, yeah, yes, maybe. But then as time went by, we thought, let's bite the bullet and do that. So I took early retirement at the end of 2015 from the University of Cape Town, and we emigrated in February 2016 and settled in Medicine Hat, where our family was living at the time, and realized that nobody owed us anything. We had chosen to immigrate and to leave the familiar behind and get into a new country and new challenges, a new setup. So we went out of our way to join different organizations and to try and network and give rather than wait for people to approach us. And that was absolutely the right thing to do. We've made wonderful connections, met wonderful friends, and Rotary has been a major in our lives. I cannot describe to you how grateful I am for us having joined, for me having joined Rotary, and for what opportunities it has opened up. I come from a Rotary family. Dad was a district governor way back, etc. I was never a Rotarian until we emigrated, joined in 2016. The president, rightly or wrongly, pulled me onto the board, and a couple of years later, I was the president of the club. It was an interesting experience, and took on via Rick district level responsibilities, especially for the NGSE. I'm also on the district board at this point. So the NGSE is my passion. I was very much involved in teaching around youth development at university level, and NGSE has given me the opportunity to, in a different way, plow in my knowledge, my skills, my passion for youth development. So to all who've made it possible and to all who currently support my team, etc., I'm so, so grateful. So I think that's enough about me, don't you think? So thank you for this time of sharing, because I think we've learned so much about one another and further developed our relationships, have we not? All part of developing global peace and global understanding through Rotary. So Haida, if you're still with us, is now the time for me to say what I want to say, sort of wrapping up before we hand over to Ria. Or would Ria like to go first?
I think, why don't we pass it to Ria, and then you can close us off. Okay. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you. As I say, this experience has been one of mentee, actually. I started out as a mentor of this group, but I've actually become the mentee. And it's interesting, I had a career in healthcare in the city. I was vice president of nursing at the Holy Cross. I've been a full-time volunteer since 2004 and served on a lot of boards and community work. But I am a Rotarian, and that's why I came back in 2016, because it's the one organization that I've been involved with that does what it promises. And so I wanted to be part of that. And the opportunity came in when we had COVID to go to the district level. And of course, the NGSE program really fit, because we're talking the 18 to 30-year-old. And my view of it was, that's the new Rotary. We are actually doing succession planning. And when I see what the result of this program has been in the last 3 weeks, we're way ahead of the curve. Like, as an organization, we do have future and we have hope. So I just leave that with you, because we've already got it started. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, well, thank you for this opportunity as co-chair of the NGSE at district level to wrap up with a few words. I'm co-chair with Manvi Pant, part of succession planning. She's going to be taking over as full chair or lead at the end of this Rotary year. And so succession planning is happening, and we're handing over to younger people, which is so incredibly important. Manvi is studying for a very important examination, and that's why she's not with us today. She sends regrets. So I just want to start by kind of connecting the dots between what has been happening via this exchange and our Rotary International theme for the year, which everybody knows is create hope for the future. And the connection I just want to make is that it is so obvious to us that with people like Haider and his wife, Christina, Maya, Manvi, and our participants, they have, through who they are and what they've been doing, made it very clear that there is hope for the future in terms of Rotary and in terms of whatever they put their hands to. So very happy to be able to kind of connect that. Just want to say to the Rotary clubs in our district that have participated in the program, I want to name them specifically for those who look at the recording and listen to it. Calgary Connect has been involved, Calgary North, Calgary East, University of Calgary Rotaract, and Okotoks. And we're just so grateful for so many of the 12, 13 clubs that so many have participated in this particular exchange. And not just participated in a general way, but really gone out of your way to make it possible for the participants to attend a meeting, to make a presentation, to get to know your members. You've had fun with them, like a tour around Okotoks. Jeff, I can't tell you how many photographs Lou took. She's really, she's going to write an article on what's happening out west. And all the other fun things that the clubs have done. Thank you so much for that. And to those of you, to the Rotarians who've opened your homes to May and Lou, I want to mention you specifically, Haider and Christina, Noordin and Katun, Michelle, Stephen and Susan, Dave and Johanna, and Ron and Julia. Thank you so much. We know that you've forged close, in such a short time, close, warm, enduring relationships with these participants. And you've opened your homes, you've been kind, and you've made sure that there has been the exposure to Rotary, but also lots of cultural exchange and lots of fun. And thank you so much for that. To Haider, who is the sort of the chief architect and CEO of UPcomer Capital Venture, we want to say a big thank you. for giving the NGSE and our 3 participants the opportunity to partner with you on this very exciting startup journey. I mentioned to May and to Lou, do you remember, and to Shreyas, right at the beginning that you would be making history? Do you remember that? You have indeed made history in terms of being part of creating the foundation and the startup of UPcomer, but also this is our very first inbound group exchange of NGSE participants to our district. So well done to the 3 of you for making history. Who knows what's going to happen around UPcomer, but we hope that you will come back in time to see how what you have laid out in these very short 1 virtual week, 3 weeks in person, what you've laid out and how it has materialized and evolved and developed over time. And all being well, we will have an annual intake of NGSE participants to work specifically on that program. To my NGSE team, Ria, Ria, Maya, Manvi, especially the 3 of you, thank you so much for being such a cool team to work with. Nothing is too much trouble. When there's a need, you've jumped in. Dynamic people, lots of energy, thinking out of the box, and just so grateful to be having the pleasure and the privilege of working with you. And you have largely been the reason why this has been a successful placement and exchange. So many thanks to you. Then to Lou and May and Shreyas. What fabulous participants you've been. I think you're going to get big heads, the 3 of you, because we are heaping the praise on you. But remember that Rotarians have a 4-way test. And the first is always, is it the truth? So what we have been saying to you is from the heart and is absolutely true, that you've been wonderful participants. And it's been a privilege and a pleasure to get to know you and to work with you. You've made your mark on the UPcomer program and also on Rotarians and Rotary in our district and the NGSE specifically. So we want to say to you, go well and please stay in touch. It's very important to us to be able to follow your life paths, Rotary-wise, hopefully there's a path there, and career-wise. And of course, we'd be delighted if you returned to Calgary when the time is right. Can I just flag again the RI convention in 2025, as Heide did? We're hoping to have participants, many from all over the world, and it would be wonderful if we're successful in applying for a breakout session on the NGSE, which would certainly partly focus on this particular exchange. So if we're successful with that, it would be brilliant to have you in person to help with the actual presentation during a breakout session, not to mention the House of Friendship. We'll have a table there too, for sure. So moving on to my last little bit, and that is to everybody, I'm going to be sending out a short questionnaire to everybody. It will be slightly different to clubs, to host families, and to Heide and his associates, etc. But we would be so grateful to get feedback from you as soon as possible. And then in about 12 days, we'll set up a Zoom meeting and try and get all of you back to wrap up, say farewell, hear how Lou and May have done and Shreyas in this post-exchange period, and then do a good evaluation together so that we learn from the whole experience as much as possible. We try to be on a learning curve all the time. So next time we want to improve even more on what we have done now. So the questionnaires and the Zoom meeting are going to be very important. We hope you'll assist us and support us with that. So thank you everybody for hearing me out, and thank you very sincerely, all of you, especially my counterparts, for attending this wrap-up meeting. Thank you. Haida, back to you. Thank you. Back to you for perhaps closing
Yeah,
comments.
I
Yeah.
think brilliant, event that we had today. 3 hours again. Rotary, thanks to Rotary for connecting us to build the relationships to produce return on social investment. We are so grateful to have this. So have a great evening, everyone, and morning. And we'll to be continued. Thanks again for all of your efforts. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank
Ciao.
you. Take care.
Au reservoir.
Look after yourselves.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for your presentation. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, Maggie. Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much for everything.
Such a pleasure, such a pleasure. And we'll give you a link to this meeting if you want to show it to anybody.
Thank you
Okay,
so much.
thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Same to you, Anita.
Yeah.
Hello,
bye-bye.
Anita. Bye.
Anita.
Bye-bye.
To say hello to these Italians. I mean, my first inbound was from your place, Leonardo. Leonardo was from your place, Padova.
Mhm.
Leonardo Girardello. I mean, Valeria, I first got